Now we are going to discuss about vendor invoice management reporting for invoices. Just to let you know, this is an add-on component that is created, delivered by OpenText. SAP also sells it as a partner. This is the best invoice management software available for SAP in the market. Okay, there and it has been used for the last 5-6 years. If you want to implement SAP and you have invoice management, we implemented this. I have implemented in multiple projects, and and generally, it just pays itself within the next 3 months by just giving the ease and the discounts that you recover just by using this software. So it has a high level machine learning AI front that really helps. Okay, so just to understand how is this architecture, this is a very important. Okay, so the first thing that comes is in in most cases, there are very few cases you receive invoices manually by post. Even if you receive manually invoices, you need to enter it manually. Like, you have to see that image and you enter it. So what's the greatest thing that this software does, and which it uses, is the OCR technology. OCR is nothing but optical character recognition. It's a technology that was probably available in the 80s, 90s, and but this they have used it heavily to read stuffs, and it has machine learning already built in. So it can read whether the PO number, it can read the vendor number, it can do a lot of things. So what happens is, this is the process that happens. There's image scan. The reason we have given image scan is, what happens is, you receive an invoice manually through a post, or you receive an invoice in an email that needs to be scanned. When you scan it, okay, automatically, so if you receive something manually, then you have to manually scan it. But if you receive in an email box, which is most of the cases, 80 to 90% of this companies does that, it it gets stored in a content server, and then the OCR reads it and finds what are the PO numbers, vendor number, and all those things. Then at this point, this is completely outside SAP. Okay, all this OCR portion, and then you have electronic invoices also coming that can be read. Okay, you can have cases where you have EDI, which is not come. EDI doesn't need OCR because you have it, so it can come directly here. So from anything blue is SAP. So the moment it hits, so the OCR comes, this you have the content repository. Okay, feeds where the image gets stored. OCR reads it, and then it pushes to document processing, and from here SAP starts. So what's the use? You just buy the OCR portion. The funny part is, it can read up till 50 languages. So if you want to pay a Spanish invoice, you don't need to learn Spanish. OCR can read it itself. Okay, so you don't, I'm not sure, I'm not a Spanish expert, but I'm pretty sure a purchase order in Spanish probably it's a procuro order or something, or in Portuguese it's something else, or in French it's something else. So you don't need to learn this language. So here, based on the different processes, so ideally, if you have a PO invoice, the most important problem for an inventory item is the GR is not done. Because what happens is, the inventory item comes to the warehouse later, but the invoice is scheduled automatically because it's through sales order. So you receive the invoice early, so you have to and wait for the goods receipt. So it should not come to the AP, it should go to the warehouse person who will enter the goods receipt. So all these process, you want to build, you can build it in this VIM process. So think about lots of things you can do. There are cases where you have a PO and the PO is marked for deletion. What will AP will do? AP will not do nothing, because AP cannot change a PO. It should go to the buyer. So you can build all those process in it. It's really, really good. This is something that's in ECC 6, and there is some changes in S4 HANA, which is in the next slide. So if you see, these are SAP add-on integration. This is a storage component where actually the image gets stored. It should not be SAP in means most of the cases ECC6 is SAP, but it should be a content server like OpenText or Documentum or Tally or whatever. These are the VIM components, which is lots of time lots of people say, oh, VIM is inside VIM is outside SAP. No, 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 no. VIM is inside SAP. It has a add-on component that which is has a namespace like /o. Namespace means every custom codes are Z or Y. So OpenText has their namespace as /o, like Ariba has /arb. Then other components like Vistex has /irm and all those things. So then you have these components which is all in SAP, and these are OCR option that is there, and this is the invoice input, this is, and these are VIM components. So everything from here till here, everything is in SAP. This can be outside. Okay, so now the next slide is the new one, which is in S4 HANA. So the same thing, it's more, you have scan, email upload, Ariba network, IDOC, and API, and you have this inbound channel. And you need OCR only here, and this is the inbound channel. And then you have, this is the SAP GUI workplace or the Fiori apps. Okay, you can do Fiori apps here and all those things. So you have, these are the blue, anything blue is in SAP. This light blue can be Fiori, this green is also different process. So here if you see, this is Fiori and analytics, you have this. So this is more or less you want to understand. So the greatest thing is you have this OCR technology, and you have scan, email upload, and all those things. So you can build this like this way. So now we'll go into the system, how it really looks. So in order to go into the system, just to let you know how this works is, the transaction codes like the namespace starts with /o. Okay, so these are some of the transaction codes that you have. Okay, so if you are in ECC6, this is a transaction code that you will be using, is /opt vim. It's actually not ECC6. If you are in vim 7 version, then you have this vim analytics transaction. Okay, so this is the transaction /opt/vim_analytics. I will always recommend you to store this transaction code in your favorites. Okay, so here you can mention company code, you can mention document number, you can mention year, whatever you want. So here I'll just put company support 6, and I'll just F8. I'll execute, and I should get everything company 6. Okay, so here you can see everything, the total amount, the vendor, when is the posting date. There are lots of custom fields you can add. You can see the purchase order, this is the security, you can see the cycle time, everything you can think of. All these things are very, very, very handy. Okay, so this is like the bread and butter for everyone who has invoice related problems. You can see payment terms, whether the invoice is posted, it's paid, and all those things you can all find it out. Okay, you can find the approver name, so on and so forth. Okay, so and this will tell you whether what type of PO it was. Okay, so these are very useful stuff that you can use. This So if you click on this, so what the basically the concept here is, before everything is ready, everything will be processed in DP, and when everything is fine, then it will create an SAP invoice number. Otherwise it will not create an SAP invoice number. So if you see here, it went through all this iteration where it gives you all the history. This was the AP person, they assign it to the person to enter the GR or the coding, and then it got posted. So this is important. Here you can click and see if there is an image. So probably there's problem with the images. Okay, spinning, and you have these comments. One important thing that in S4 HANA they have given is they have given the name and the ID, which was missing before. They used to only give the ID, which was really painful. So that really doesn't help you a lot. Okay, so now if you go to click on the image is a problem, looks like. So I can always uh, close this. Sometimes this doesn't work, that image portion, but if it doesn't work, it can be something security or something. Okay, so this is one invoice, and then you have, it gives you all these settings posted. So if you see, this one is 515, which is a PO invoice number, and these are non-PO invoice number. If you want to see the vendor, it will, one important thing again in SAP is they have got rid of XK03, and BP is the new transaction. So if you see, it takes you to the transaction called business partner, or sometimes it keeps the old transaction code into limelight. So it still shows this transaction code, but actually it takes me to BP transaction here. Okay, so here you can see address overview, payment transaction status, and how whatever you want. uh, this is one major change that they have done in S4 HANA to simplify process. Now here, there are other stuffs. You can see the invoice also from here by hitting the actual invoice, and it just takes you to MIR4 and all those things. Now later, if you see there, you can see the purchase order number. It's just a hotspot. Okay, and if you click on it, you know it's a framework order and all those things, so it doesn't have a goods receipt. So this is what is there in this. And another thing you can see from here is the workflow overview. So if you click on workflow overview, it opens another thing, and you can see the workflow log from here. Okay, so this is another way we can do. Now lots of times, this is what was there in ECC6, and now there is a new thing in S4 HANA. One of the problem that the AP used to have is everything runs on this based on workflow. So lots of times what happens is AP wanted to grab stuff from others inbox. So before, so suppose, let's see what it, who it is with. This one, this is with this lady Sania Lecoq. Now, so if I want to get this, so if you have this thing in your case, that means I and the other person doesn't have it. So how to get this back is, there was a process that we built, and this is completely custom. You have to go to first dashboard, one click, okay, then second click, then this is completely custom, third click, fourth click, and then I do fifth click, and then I'll say send to AP. So I say okay, send to AP. Sixth click. The reason I'm counting all this is important is, you see workflow started. I'll close this now. Seventh click, eighth click, ninth click, and now I'll go here. This is now my 9, 10, 11 click, 12 click, and now if you see, it will show in everyone's inbox. So you see this one's, so it shows me. So now I'll click on this, which is 12th, 13th. So after 13 clicks, and after going through all these things, I get this thing. Now we'll show the same thing. So what I'm going to do is, I'll create the same scenario where I will just forward it to Sani Lecoq, the person. Okay, 0081188, because I want to create the same scenario, right? So now if I go to the workflow log, it shows my name, but I don't have it. It's with her, so it's like this now. So this was the process what we have in ECC6, and now how we improved in the new system in S4HANA is using this. So this is the new transaction that SAP has built for VIM 7.5, which is available in S4HANA. So again, this solution is also custom. So what we are going to do is, let me see, what was the invoice number? Oh, we forgot the DP number. Let's see, we can always get it. If we get DP numbers, we can always get it. So we can go to outbox. Let me, will it show me this one? 516 was the one, right? That's the beauty of SAP. So if I go here, I'll just double click, I'll just execute. Simple. Okay, this is the new VIM analytics screen, and here if you see, we'll just pick 516. So go down, go down, come down, come down, come down, come down, come down. 516 didn't show because I have something where it reduces my this number of records. I'll execute F8 here. Okay, so I did F8. Now I went down, go down. If I go down, scroll down, so this was the one, it shows her name, and I'll click on send to AP. One click and I'm here. So I got rid of 13 clicks, which had lots of issues where you could make mistakes, and I'm back to one click where I get the screen. So if I close this, I'm going to go back, and if I just put 516 for the heck, and I do F8. Okay, so here it is. I click 516 and now it's with me. So that's what we also added, some more buttons like FBL1N. So if I click on this and I go to FBL1N, it takes me to that. It helps me to find out if there's any other payments and all those things. Another one is clicking on, one bad feature we had was, in order to see the workflow log, you have to go here, you click here, there was one other click, so you have to click on this and then you have to select this, which was 3 clicks. What we did is you just click here and we are here. So this is a very powerful thing that they have done in Vim. Again, this requires customization from an expert. Okay, and so this is something, and also there are lots of other features they have added, is clearing documents and all those things. So this is really helpful and strong. So this helps a lot. So Vim analytics is very important in vendor invoice management. That's the place everyone in the company should have authorization. Don't just restrict to only AP or something. Everyone has invoices, everyone needs to pay the bills, so they need to have, that's very important. Now there's some other transaction that you have. This is generally used by the AP. This is a Vim workplace, which is like a custom SAP inbox transaction with steroids in it. Okay, so you have lots of stuff. You can do bulk action, you can do mass approve, mass referral. So if you select, suppose I select this, and I select this too, and I can do bulk action. choose bulk action, I can do unreserved and all those things. Again, this can be disabled, this can be enabled and all those things. This is also very effective. Okay, you can see different colors coming, whether based on the discounts and all those things. You can configure different colors, and if I click on this, it tells me the vendor, it takes me to the vendor. So this is really powerful, and that's why they use this add-on solution. This is the best add-on solution you can have in any SAP system for accounts payable, and I will recommend you to have this. You will get it paid within 3 months of implementation of all the whole the service and all those things. The problem with this is there are very few people who really knows this technology, so you might want to check who really knows. Fortunately, I'm one of them who really knows this, and it's changing every day like SAP, and there are lots of things you can build and you can think of. So sky is the limit, like SAP, like any technology. So this is something that I will recommend you all have for if you are paying invoices through SAP. There are other transactions that you will be having through this. So I have this built like this, where I put all the transaction codes in the vendor invoice management. So we generally push these transactions to our end users, because it's very difficult to know which are the transaction codes, and it's difficult to test, difficult to name those. So these are the transactions codes that you have in analysis. This used to be old. Now I'm looking for something that is there were some other transaction codes that is there. Probably I'll search with there's open text, standalone, ZAP, PO workflow, business partner, utility, vendor invoice management, VIM new folder. And here are some new transaction codes. That's for configuration of this. Uh, and let me see, there is another one. This is another thing that we had to develop is in S4 HANA is a simplified version of BP business partner. So we customized it and we brought the XK03 that is missing in business in S4 HANA. So if you see what I'm talking about, I'll show you. So if you go to XK03 and you try to display the same thing, it redirects you to BP, and which is more painful, and it has different views. So now business wanted something similar that they had in a ECC6, which was really helpful, and they can see it from here. So this is we customized this, and it's really helpful for us. So this covers everything on the vendor invoice management front. There are other transactions that is there that will be useful. There is some aging transaction. Let me see, we can get that aging transaction. So in order to know what is a transaction code, you can go to /o. Probably I'll just search aging and we'll have something. Yeah, this is the aging transaction, which tells you uh, what is the aging of invoices. Okay, so but again, this needs to be configured. All these things needs to be configured. In our process, we don't have it configured, so it doesn't show anything. But if you run the aging report and there's some aggregate report, it will work. So this is on that transaction code is used. Again, VIM analytics is very important. OCR is the most important, and you should use it. There are features. You can use Ariba, you can use EDI through this process, and uh, the reporting, the visibility on stuffs is really helpful on this. That covers everything on the vendor invoice management reporting for accounts payable.